Welcome, everybody. Today is day 23 of our Count of the Omer, and we're actually almost halfway through. So it's very exciting, but it's actually also Shabbat. So we're going to go ahead and have this little introduction, but then you'll see the session from my Sabbath service. So tonight we're going to be looking at 6 steps to healthy discipline enabling endurance. We all have moments in our life and we have to endure. We have to get through. And being able to have healthy discipline, that's the only way we're going to make it through. We have to be able to focus, apply ourselves, and to really have the strong desire and passion and will to make it through whatever we're trying to achieve and to be successful. So tune in, watch it, hope it helps, and hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow.
Today is 23 days, which are 3 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirot haomer. So now, we have 6 steps to healthy discipline enabling endurance, because tonight's count and our attributes, so there are 7 attributes, emotional attributes that we cycle for 7 weeks. One is the foundation for the entire week, and then the other 7 for the 7 days then just sort of filter right through the main one. So for this entire week, we are exploring and learning about endurance, how we endure. Yesterday we had loving kindness endurance, and today we have discipline in endurance. Gevurah of Netzach, discipline in endurance. Endurance is the power to withstand something challenging, the ability to do something very difficult for a very long time. In order to do this, you got to have discipline. The discipline to endure, the discipline to survive, to get through any obstacles in order to succeed. Have you ever felt like you actually lacked some discipline? Maybe not necessarily all the time, but maybe you found yourself procrastinating. Maybe you have a project to get to or something that you need to finish that you actually just don't feel like doing. Maybe you feel a little bit like you have to force yourself. Or on the other hand, are you exactly the opposite? Maybe feeling like you are overachieving, super disciplined to the point of excess, causing harm to yourself in the process. Maybe accomplishing your goals, but never quite feeling like it's enough, like you are never really done. We're going to address the 6 steps to healthy discipline, enabling endurance, the endurance to accomplish what we set out to do in a way that actually uplifts. But first, let's talk about the control that you need to take of yourself. There's not much that we can control in life right now, except the way that we actually respond to things and how we actually handle ourselves, most particularly at this time of COVID crisis, or any crisis. This time is actually a really good example. Out of seemingly nowhere, all of humanity across the globe is completely leveled by an unseen enemy. Lives are shattered, businesses and economies are upended, chaos is brought to bear on a world that at times was already fractured. It takes enormous discipline to endure and the will to make it through. People are banding together to make great strides, but at the end of the day, what we have to deal with most is actually ourselves. We have to take care of our health, our safety. We need to make good choices, and most of all, we need to exercise some self-control and some self-discipline to make it through each day and then make every single one of them count. Entrepreneur Magazine had an article identifying steps for cultivating self-discipline and taking control of habits and choices to make a powerful difference in your life. I have included 6 of those today. I've adapted them for our purposes to help our understanding of how to master the art of discipline in endurance, Gevurah in Netzach. So, first of all, number 1, it's important to know your weaknesses. Number 2, remove temptations. Number 3, eat healthy and often. Some of us are getting the COVID-19. Number 4, set clear goals and have an execution plan. Number 5, build your self-discipline. And number 6, create new habits by keeping it simple. So let's look at number 1, weaknesses. We need to know our weaknesses. our vulnerabilities, to address them head on and use them as opportunities to strengthen our character and also our choices. If we know who we are, where the cracks are in our veneer, we can then work to repair them and then become stronger. Number 2, temptations. They are a distraction. They only seek to derail our best intentions. Steering clear of the things that tempt will make self-discipline a lot easier to maintain, propagating endurance. Number 3, eat healthy and often. So our bodies are like cars. They need good fuel to run efficiently. So do we. Healthy food throughout the day will keep our energy up and provide the sustenance necessary to actually be able to endure. Number 4, setting clear goals. It's necessary to define where we need to get to, knowing what needs to be accomplished, and then devising a clear plan to get ourselves there. That's going to make the road much more easy to travel. For example, right now during this pandemic, there are stages now for re-entry into society in order to get back to some kind of semblance of normalcy. Knowing what these stages are, where the things we need in life actually lie within the stages, can help us build the self-discipline to get through each phase. Actually knowing where the finish line is and potentially how far down the line, we can then discipline ourselves and pace ourselves in order to endure and make it through with our sanity and our relationships not only intact, but better for us having had all the time that we've been able to spend together. Leading us to number 5, the necessity to build self-discipline. So we've got to build our sense of self-discipline by setting goals, small ones at the beginning, and accomplishing them one by one by one. We gradually build discipline within our own being. We cultivate the strength that's needed to be disciplined and to endure. It's very important in our lives that we do this because we have a lot of time on our hands and we want to be able to take opportunity to actually evolve and make a difference in our lives, which is what we've been able to do with this counting of the Omer. There's 49 days and we're on day 23, so we're doing a lot of good work here. So please join us at 8 o'clock and continue with us on the count. So we can use the previous steps that we've just discussed to help us identify our weaknesses, identify our vulnerabilities, avoid temptation, figure out what tempts us, stay away, and the distractions that are there, and then behave in a constructive and productive manner. Which leads us now to the final one, to number 6 that we're discussing today, creating new habits and keeping it simple. Start small, just pick the one thing, then another. In order to affect any kind of change in our behavior or our lives, we need to create new habits that will actually endure, that will really stay with us. So, it is said that in order to affect any kind of change, we have to be able to do it over and over and over and over again. We need to change the dialogue, and then we can rewrite the story. We can write our next chapter to live life at a higher, more productive level in a way that we can feel proud of ourselves. And then if we take a good look at ourselves, we'll be able to make this happen. We'll be able to identify the things that we need to repair or look at the things we need to embellish upon because those things are actually good. And then change the script. The power is ours. We just need to be disciplined, have disciplined endurance to keep up the new habits that we've created long enough for them to take hold. Starting small, building day by day, keeping it simple in order to pave their way. Dale Carnegie once said, "Feeling sorry for yourself and your present condition is not only a waste of energy, but is the worst habit you could possibly have." Has anyone ever felt sorry for themselves? To take action, to be positive, figuring out where our weaknesses are, eliminating the distractions, setting goals, and enhancing our self-esteem, these are the ways that we can work through toward larger ones, larger habits, larger goals. And then this will ultimately make us happier and more successful people. We will be channeling our energy more productively, making it possible to create new habits which will actually last. Habits that will help us experience the discipline and endurance that today is all about, and the fulfillment and peace it will afford us. It is written in the Talmud, if a person says, I worked hard but have not found success, don't believe him. If a person says, I have not exerted myself, but I've actually found success, don't believe him. If the person says, I gave it my all and I have found glorious success, believe that one. Complete success is only possible when we apply ourselves and truly give it our all. Having the self-discipline to endure is our lesson for today. Hopefully the steps that we've discussed will help get you there. Tune in tomorrow for Tiferet and Netzach, which is actually exercising compassion in our endurance, creating beauty, connecting to the beauty in ourselves, then extending it out to others, and hopefully enhancing our interactions and elevating and uplifting our world, which we need so desperately at this time. So may everything that you do collect in small little ways to become big little ways, big giant ways that make a difference both in your life and the lives of others.
And I'll see you tomorrow.